So most
you
people
got
are
right?
going to be pretty good on the warm up. I'm not going to go over it, but
I got it wrong. I got it wrong. Huh?
oh, there's a. I didn't put in I didn't put in a correct answer because I didn't tell you to put it in standard form. So you didn't have to start with paper text on it.
Oh,
I warned you.
I said hurry.
Want to fight me? No, I don't want to pay for hospital bills.
Go try to fight people.
Enter become
Why are you
fighter.
just like on me, man? Good stuff.
Where's Luis?
Alright.
You don't have a
He's got an appointment. Okay, so we're gonna get started. The first part of this you guys have done before. It's just gonna get a little more complicated this time around. So we're gonna start off by what's it called when I got something on the outside here? What do?
Distributive.
Distribute, which means we're gonna do what with these?
You
Multiply them
multiply.
together. So we're gonna do a little bit of distributing today, just as a reminder, and then we'll get to our main lesson later.
So I mean,
So-
you got a long lesson.
No, because the first part's easy. And take your headphones out, please, Beto.
Only if you want.
Alright, so it asked what's a simpler form of negative x to the third, and then in parentheses 9x to the fourth minus 2x to the third plus 7. All it wants you to do is distribute, which means we're going to multiply things together. And they're just going to be a little tougher today because we're multiplying negative x to the third times 9x to the fourth to start with. So when I do this first piece, what number is in front of this x to the third, even though we don't write it down?
-1.
Negative 1. So not just a 1, but a negative 1. I got a negative 1 right there. I'm going to try to squeeze it in. So I'm going to go negative 1 times 9 is negative 9. What's x to the third times x to the fourth?
12.
So, last chapter is
Seven.
x to the seventh.
Oh, you're adding.
Yeah, last chapter, Beto. So remember, when you multiply variables and exponents together, you add the exponents. That's what we did last chapter. So we're going to keep going through. We're going to do negative x to the third times negative 2x to the third. Negative 1 times negative 2 is a positive 2. x3 times x3 is x6. And then negative 1x to the third times 7 is negative 7. And then there's no other variables, so I just write it down. Negative 7x to the third. We're not going to do a whole lot with this today to start with.
Wait,
Just want to do a quick reminder.
so you add them if they have an exponent,
Mm-hmm.
or if they don't have an exponent, just put...
Because it's kind of like saying, how many x's does this 7 have next to it?
Oh.
0, right? 3 plus 0 is 3.
Really?
Yes. Alright, you guys have done this before, so let's do something random. I'm going to have you guys try this one. Didn't work, man. Keep trying. Alright, so what I want you to do is distribute this problem here. Let's do it as an in class. I'm not really worried about you guys getting this. You guys have done this. You're under 0. Nobody likes you. There you go. I want you to distribute this. So I have a 3x. I'll write it a little nicer. So we have 3x, and then in parentheses, 4x squared plus 7x minus 2. I want you to distribute. Let's just make it an in-class problem on your own. Distribute this. We'll see how you do. We'll have somebody do it on the board for us. Beto. Attack with Mayday or Ivory once they're done.
Would you not multiply the 3 and the 4, the 3x and the 4x with power of 2 because it has
It's the same variable. You couldn't add them together, but we're not adding them multiple. That's why
12 would it be 12x to the power of 2 or would it be 12x?
12x to the power of 3. This is last chapter. 3 times 4 is 12. Because you can add the same variables. But I can't, like this is an x squared, right? And this is an x. I don't have 11x. Because this is x squared.
So you're pretty much just putting 1 on everything that doesn't have an exponent.
Yeah, because the exponent here is 1.
There's no X at the end.
Yes, but you add the variable.
Can I go on the board?
Maybe. You can pick somebody random.
Goki. I'm not getting this. I'm not taking
Loki, have you heard of the Black Panther soundtrack yet?
Yes.
It's pretty amazing.
I don't usually buy soundtrack
What songs are on there?
Paramedic. And Big Shot.
Wait, is Pierce going to do?
not supposed to big shot.
After the lesson, you mean?
But there's like, yeah, there's like 20 songs on it.
So, yeah. Remember those people that, like, turn some of their hair up and like push the rest of it?
Can people volunteer to do this?
I usually tell them no.
Oh, yeah.
Because if somebody volunteers, you get people that are like, oh, they're gonna do it. I don't have to do
That's
it.
going to Coke.
Can I do it?
Oh, I'm willing to do it now.
Oh, go ahead. Let's go ahead.
What about
But
what
it's
about
actually-
what about the
Exactly.
two?
Yes, I agree.
They beat us by 14.
All right, Ivory.
You got it.
No, we're done.
What? Oh, what goal key? Are you kidding
Oh,
me?
just do it on there.
Goal key.
Why?
Every time I ask you, tell me no. It's my
I know. Because it's funner to watch you struggle.
Letters aren't even a word, goal key.
I teach math, not English. Alright, so Ivory's doing this one on the board. We get, oh, not quite. What's x times x squared?
You fun.
X to the third. X to the third.
Oh.
There you go.
I got that one wrong.
So,
I got that wrong.
what's he laughing?
I'll laugh 'cause maybe I
Alright,
got
so
it
keep
wrong.
going.
No. That's wrong. Oh, wait, no, that's right.
Yeah, there you go. Nice save. X to the
Two?
x squared, yep.
Oh, yeah. Wait,
Yep.
what?
Because x times x is x squared. This is last chapter stuff.
Oh, that's how you messed me up.
There you go.
Yeah.
12x to the third plus 21x squared minus 6x. Nice job. So, this was mostly just to get us started. What we're going to be doing today is actually the opposite of this. So, we distributed and we put this all back together, right? I took this thing outside parentheses and I put it together. We're actually going to be working backwards for most of today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out, or I'm going to at least start off by figuring out, if I have 5x to the third plus 25x squared plus 45x, what can I take out of each thing and put it out in front of a parenthesis? We are going to be factoring today, which is the opposite of distributing. Distribute, you put it all together. Factor, you take it out. So we're going to start off by finding the greatest common factor, which you guys did probably in like 5th grade.
Oh, shit.
If I said, what's the greatest common factor of...
No.
If I said, what's the greatest common factor of 25 and 10, what would it be? 5, right? 5 is the biggest number that shows up in both of these. We're actually doing the same thing. GCF, so what is the GCF of these? Greatest common factor. You did this in 5th grade, but it's going to be a little tougher now. Not a lot, but a little bit. It's actually, might even be easier than yesterday's stuff for the most part.
I don't know.
So we're going to find the greatest common factor of 5x to the third plus 25x squared plus 45x. And I'm going to show all the steps. You might, especially after you practice, you might be able to just look at these and see it, but I'm going to show all the steps for today. So even if you could look at it and be good, I'm still going to show everything. So to find the greatest common factor, I'm going to look at each individual term. Remember, a term is the stuff separated by pluses and minuses. That's a term, this is a term, this is a term. So I'm going to look at my first term, 5x to the third, and I'm going to say, I'm going to split this up as much as I possibly can by multiplying it together. How can I split up a 5 to be something times something without any decimals?
X is
Wait, what?
What can I multiply to get 5 without decimals? It's really easy. 5 and 1. Everybody always misses
I was
that.
overthinking that.
5 times 1, right? That's all I can do. Okay, I can split 5 up to be a 5 times 1. And I'm actually going to do that because sometimes my greatest common factor is 1. So even though it's kind of annoying, kind of stupid, we're still going to split it up that way.
Alright.
Okay, how can I split up an x to the third to be something multiplied together? X times x times x. X to the third is 3 x's, right?
Yes.
X, so I'm going to go, come on, tablet. There you go. So I'm going to go x times x times x. Like that. I split up 5x to the third. And then I'm going to go and split up 25x squared. How can I split up 25 to be something times something?
5 times 4.
5 times 5, right?
Yes. You want to go ahead and put x times x right after that.
Alright, so 25 is 5 times 5. And then if I have an x squared, how many x's is that?
2.
2. We go x times x. Alright, can I split up anything else on that one? No. But on this one, we'll get a look at that. How can I split up 45?
9 and 5.
9 and 5, right? 9 times 5, but can't I split up 9 to be something else?
Yes.
3 times 3, right? So I'm going to cross out 9, and I'm going to go 3 times 3. Because I want to split this up as much as I possibly can.
We just put times x on the last one.
And the last one, we will put times x, because I've just got the 1x. So I'm going to go times x right there. Alright, I've made these 3 lists. And this is kind of a long way to do it. After a while, you can kind of just look at these, and you'll be good at them. But for now, we're going to learn the long way. What shows up in each list?
5 and x.
A 5 shows up in each list, right?
Yeah.
So I got, no, that's a bad color. Hang on. Let me find a better color. There we go. Let's try yellow. I think that's yellow. Oh, good enough. Alright, 5 shows up in each list, right? And an X shows up in each list. Does anything else show up?
Yes.
Multiplication sign.
Well, not that. They're all multiplications. So, I have a 5 and an X that shows up in each term. To find out my
5x.
GCF, I just pick one line, because each line is exactly the same with what shows up, right? 5 and X, 5 and X, 5 and X. My greatest common factor is 5 times X, which is really just 5X. Yep. That is my greatest common factor, 5 times X. And I am going to write it like this, 5 times X first, because sometimes I might get like a 2 times a 5 times an X, which is really 10X. So it's not super tough, it's just making sure you get your list split up enough. And I think I phrased this, I changed this morning, but I think I was wrong, because I think I'm just going to have you guys, I want you to just find the GCF. I thought we were getting ahead of ourselves, that's our next lesson, we're going to use this. So we're going to find the GCF on this one. Yeah, so we're going to do the same thing. So we're just going to practice finding the greatest common factor today. Okay. At least grab a notes paper on the corner there. And then I'll just...
Would it be a negative?
Alright, so I'm going to find my greatest common factor. And to do that, I need to look at our 3 lists here. I got 4x to the 5th. And this next one, it's a negative 24x to the 3rd, right? Go ahead. Let's go. Let's go. We'll wait. Okay. We have negative 24x to the 3rd here, right? When we do greatest... Really? You're not done? Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go back to sharpen your pencil again. Give me a hard time. Okay. Even though this is negative 24x to the 3rd, the negative doesn't matter. So I'm just going to go 24x to the 3rd. And then I have 8x, so I'm going to go 8x here. Okay,
You're not putting
so
a negative?
I am going to go through and I'm going to split up my list. How can I split up 4, Ashlyn?
2 and 2.
What?
How can I split up this 4? Times? Yep, 2 times 2. And how many x's am I going to have? Oh, it's a terrible times.
What?
Patient, I don't even probably right.
5x. So we'll keep 5x.
And then we're going to have 5 x's because it's x to the 5th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to write the time signs.
Where are we?
Feeling lazy. We are the first one on the back. Alright, let's go to 24x to the 3rd. Adelia, we're going to
It's
multiply to get
negative, but
24.
it's negative.
6 times 4.
6 times 4. Alright. 6 times 4. But can I split up 4? Can we just do that?
Yeah.
To be what? 2 and 2, right? So I'm going to go 2 times 2. And can't I split up 6? To be what? 3 times 2. So I'm going to go 3 times 2. Alright, how many x's am I going to have? 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. And then our last one, 8. 4 times 2, right? But didn't I already find 4 to be 2 times 2? And then this one just has a single x. Alright. So I gotta go through and see what shows up in each list.
2x.
So I got a 2, right? 2 shows up in each list. And an x shows up in each list. But there's something else. What else am I missing?
Another 2.
A second 2 shows up in each list.
And then
So-
another x.
No, I ran out of x's in the bottom. Nice try, Majay. Alright, so my greatest common factor, I'm just going to look at one of these. Because the stuff I have highlighted is all exactly the same. So my greatest common factor is going to be
4.
2 times 2 times x, which is really 4x.
57.
No. Just no. No. So my greatest common factor is 4x. Not super tough, I hope. Tomorrow we're actually going to use the greatest common factor and we're going to factor it out. I forgot I split this into 2 days when I made this morning.
What about the negative? It's a negative 24.
It doesn't matter.
Are we done?
Greatest common factor is just what numbers. So
Oh.
the negative does not matter.
Sounds good.
Alright, let's have you guys try one now. I want you to not factor out, I want you to find. I shouldn't have changed that this morning. Find your greatest common factor.
You thought we were gonna have trouble with this, okay?
No, I had forgotten I split it up.
That was already done.
Yeah. What? Oh, I didn't see it. Yes. Show off. Yep, same thing. So make your 3 lists and see what shows up in each list. After a while, you can just kind of look at them and do that and say what your greatest common factor is, which is fine. You can just look at it and say, oh, I know what that is. That's fine. No biggie.
For intermediate, do we just find the common?
Yep, greatest common factor again, yeah. Like I said, I forgot that I changed this into a 2-parter. And so I changed directions around on this before I printed it when I should not have.
After the X ticket, okay?
You can.
Is it 2x?
Oh, I can't.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so what's your greatest common factor? Yep.
GCF is 2x, right?
Yep.
What do you think, Luis?
GCF is 2x.
I probably shouldn't have split this up into 2 days, but
We should turn on the hand.
I just like to mess with you.
Yeah.
Did you guys take
Two.
you guys just your first grade?
Alright, we're gonna pick somebody random, do this on the board for us.
So it's
What are you
test
doing?
TV.
Sit down.
No.
Okay, sorry.
Help me, I'll put pencil shavings in there. Don't sit down.
No, don't do that.
You have to have a lot of minutes down.
Oh my
So if you
god.
go to
Avery, I've got you like 3 times in a row.
I'll just sit my name.
What?
Fine.
I'll do it.
You know what, fine, you can do it. You can do it, Alzea. I'll let you. I keep getting Ivory. She's already done it. You wanna do the tablet? You wanna go?
I'll just do it right there.
You have to use
Alright.
The final.
Alzea's gonna do this on the board for us. So you check your answer first.
I didn't use them on that one.
Double check your answer. If you haven't yet, you can also start your exit ticket.
Oh, what the? I'm gonna do right there.
You know what's crazy? I went there, like, off, and I was singing, and just like, I went for like 15 minutes, and then, it's just too bad. If it's not that good, then
Ram.
we could just come to the mall. I was like, just name the rate and everything.
That's annoying.
Thanks for sharing, Luis.
Yeah, that was really good.
I got memorized except for S and O. For those of you.
Trading. Daddy Lindsay.
Alright, we got our first line up there for 6x to the 4th, 3 times 2, and then 4 x's. Pretty good.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Giant, shush. Hey, Giant. No, I was doing a very bad version of Jeopardy.
Find them, okay.
Like, when they're like going like gym busy, cause you know.
A little bit. Hey, Giant.
Hey, It was like the song, like the back.
Why are you shaking?
I don't know.
There's like this, it's like.
You're glitching out.
Hey, I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna take the number.
The Wii theme music.
Alright, so our second line, 2 times 2 times 2, and then we got 3 x's. That's okay. Now we're through. Last line. Alright, 2 times 2 times x is our last line, which makes our greatest common factor.
3 a.m.
That's not the x ticket. 2x.
No.
Nice. 2x. Alright, so if you haven't yet started your exit ticket, I will turn on Socrative here in just a second.
That's not our exit
And I'll put your homework on the board.
ticket. That wasn't
Nice
our-
job.
That wasn't our exit ticket?
Nope.
Oh,
Of course not.
That's our exit ticket.
This is your exit.
I just did that.
Oh good, you're ahead of the game.